All right, man, peace. So, brothers, one of the greatest bromances in the recent history of the NBA came to an official end last night with the 3-point victory for the Los Angeles Lakers over the Miami Heat. LeBron James was officially able to win the overall matchup between himself and his friend DWade, 16-15. And of course, Shannon Sharpe, LeBron James' #1 fan, has his own personal take on their bromance, their relationship. So of course they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Glad to have you with us. And last night, LeBron James and DWade were on an NBA court, probably together for the last time. ESPN's Brian Windhorst wrote about their friendship, saying they had a, quote, complicated and wonderful 16 years together that saw them team up and break up twice and win titles twice. Windhorst added that the friendship could have been badly damaged in 2014 when LeBron left the Heat to return to Cleveland, but
Well, one of the main reasons why most relationships last is because at least one person out of the two people in the relationship is willing to let certain things slide. Over the course of your life, if you're going to maintain a relationship with someone who's not an immediate family member, oftentimes we're going to have to be conveniently forgetful. We're going to have to allow certain things to slide. So that just shows you what type of person DWade is in regards to his friends and certain people in his life. Because there's no doubt that certain things that LeBron James did to DWade, that if DWade was either less forgiving or maybe just not as perceptive, he would not have allowed to slide. But I'm going to give Dwayne the benefit of the doubt and say that he's more forgiving than he is less perceptive.
They somehow patched it up, and once again joined by Chris Broussard. Chris, what's your view of their friendship?
I really think this is a legitimate family type relationship. You know, it's not based on we just hang out and kick it and have fun all the time.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that sometimes there are people that you encounter in life that you just build a bond with for whatever reason. And I'm sure that there are numerous issues where they are copacetic. Maybe on the basketball court and also off the basketball court.
Yeah.
You have relationships sometimes with people, whether it's a friend or like a cousin that you don't see all the time. You don't even talk to them a lot. But when you do see them, it's all love. You know, there's real respect and trust there.
Correct.
And that's how I see this relationship. And I think DWade, remember, DWade is 3 years older than LeBron.
Absolutely.
Even though they came in together in the draft, he's 3 years older than LeBron. He had a lot of life experience. You know, he married his childhood sweetheart and young and all that, went to college. And I think...
Yes, he married his quote-unquote childhood sweetheart until he stepped into the Luciferian world of the NBA. And he was able to see a different type of light as opposed to the Luciferian light that he was subjected to going to that so-called Christian church over there in Chicago. So that's really what that whole situation was about, the falling out between DWade and his quote-unquote baby mama. She was trying to maintain control over him because prior to him entering into the NBA, he was being controlled by her and her mother. But after he started to get them checks, he no longer wanted to be under their control. So that's why she was all over the news, all over the internet, talking about DWade has changed as a person. He's become this, he's become that. And I don't doubt her. I don't doubt that he saw a different side to life, the quote-unquote Luciferian side, and he embraced it. But it's not very different from the Luciferianism that he was subjected to in the so-called Christian church that he pretty much was forced to be a part of by his former wife, aka baby mama, and her mother. It is what it is.
I think he is the big brother. You mentioned it earlier. He's like a big brother role in this relationship. And I say it's like a big brother who recognizes that his little brother is a prodigy. And his little brother is better than him. So he makes sacrifices to help his little brother reach the heights that he thinks he can.
Well, they definitely had a very convenient relationship because they certainly needed one another. And there was a very convenient component within their relationship where not only did they realize how much they could assist one another, but they had a bond. So they trusted one another.
And Wade has made some major sacrifices in his relationship with LeBron.
Convenient sacrifices.
Right? $10 million.
Yeah.
But beyond that, Wade gave up his...
Well, yes. Let me say this. Giving up all that money, that was not so much a convenient sacrifice. I thought that Chris Broussard was talking about allowing LeBron James to become the alpha on the Miami Heat. But yes, Dwayne Wade giving up all that money, that was a sacrifice. But that partially was also based in the mantra of Pat Riley that we have to become a part of this. We have to be all in.
His team. Yeah. I mean, and Wade gave up his team to LeBron, and not right away. That first year in Miami when they failed to win the championship, it was a tug of war. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I really think when the big three came together, I think Wade honestly felt, I'm as good as LeBron. Like, right. He's not.
There's no doubt about that. As a matter of fact, there's a classic regular season game that Dwayne Wade and LeBron James had the season that the Miami Heat won the championship. It was in 2006. It was in the early spring or mid-spring of 2006, probably like March, early April. It was almost near the end of the regular season, where LeBron James had something like 45 or 47 points and Dwayne Wade had something like 41 points. It was a duel that they had in Cleveland. The game's on YouTube, but I remember watching it live. It was unbelievable, and it was very obvious what was going on. Both of them were trying to show the other one that I'm just as good as, if not better than you. And of course, later on that season, the Miami Heat went on to win the World Championship. The next year, LeBron takes his team to the NBA Finals, and of course, they got mollywopped by the San Antonio Spurs.
Nah, it's not him and then me and then Bosh. Like, I'm as good as LeBron, and he had the right to think that way. But I think in that first year, they both took 18 shots a game. LeBron averaged 26, Wade averaged 25. Like, it was a tug of war. Whose team is it? And then the second year, Wade made the sacrifice to step back and give the team to LeBron because...
Let me say this, because I'm sure that Chris Broussard is going to try to clean it up. But the real reason why Dwayne Wade understood that he had to give the team to LeBron is because, as Chris Broussard has already stated, number one, he understood that LeBron James is a basketball prodigy. But number two, he realized that LeBron James can only play in one system. He can only play in a system where everything is predicated around him. Now, what Miami successfully was able to do was they were able to amalgamate a real system with the LeBron James system. They've been able to do it better than any other team that LeBron James has ever been a part of. And that's why they were so successful. Because they should have won 3 out of 4 championships. In 2011, they should have beat the Mavericks if LeBron James had not had that meltdown. Because I believe that LeBron got nervous in those finals, and also he wanted to repay Dwayne and allow Dwayne to be the MVP of the finals in 2011 by allowing him to take the alpha role. And by the time things got hectic, it was too late. LeBron had lost all of his confidence, and it was a wrap.
Because he thought that was the best way for them to win. Now, he could have looked at it like, look at what happened to LeBron in the finals. And he could have said, I'm taking over the team. I'm taking it back. I'm the guy that's won the championship.
Plus, it's my team. I've been here.
Right, I've been here. But he gave it to LeBron. And I wrote a story in I believe their second championship year together, about how Wade was the first and I think the only NBA player up to that time, you can argue if Steph has done this, but who was an alpha and who was in his prime and willingly gave his team up willingly to another guy.
Well, Chris Broussard, you can't just argue whether or not Steph has done this. It's a fact that Steph also did the same thing that Dwayne Wade did. And as a matter of fact, Steph Curry was even on a higher level of esteem than Dwayne Wade when he gave over, when he divested control of the team to another great player, which is what Steph Curry did for Kevin Durant. They both pretty much did the same thing, but they were in two very different spaces in their career. Dwayne Wade had won a championship in 06. He got hurt in 07. They didn't make the playoffs. 08, they struggled. And I believe 09 and 2010, they made the playoffs, but they were out in the first round. The Golden State Warriors had won a chip in 2015. In 2016, they should have won it. And then they bring Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry says, you know what? I'm going to allow you to be an equal partner to me. And then when the playoffs come, I'm going to let you handle your business because I already have a chip. So Steph Curry actually did an even greater thing than Dwayne Wade did.
And Eric Spoelstra read that story to the team in the locker room. And then Wade personally thanked me. Like, I saw him and he thanked me for the story. He understands, like, I think, and I don't think most people recognize how much of a sacrifice he was. Because I think he really stepped back and was like maybe 80% of the player he could have been individually to help.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Help them win. So, and we mentioned, the $10 million. That's a heck of a sacrifice in 2014. But I think Wade understands. We always look at it like LeBron. If he hadn't gone to Miami and learned how to win under Wade, he wouldn't have those championships. And that might be true or not.
No, it's not that it might be true. It is true. When he went to play alongside DWade, DWade gave him a higher understanding of what it means to lead a team, especially being under the Pat Riley umbrella. Pat Riley showed LeBron James what it means to be a leader. And that's why he was able to take a lot of that energy back to Cleveland with him.
Or not. But I think Wade also understands, like, one thing that helped him make the sacrifices, he understands LeBron helped him get to new heights too.
Absolutely, it was a partnership. And if we're just to evaluate their overall successes as basketball players, of course LeBron James has more individual accolades. But when it comes to who has succeeded more or less in regards to the team aspect, they're both equal. They won 2 championships together, and they were both able to win one without the other.
What he wrote on the jersey last night, thanks for helping me become better than I thought I could. Remember, after Wade won in 06, 07 out in the first round, 08 no playoffs period, 09 and 10 out in the first round.
Okay, so that's how it went. He said 07 they struggled, and then 08 they didn't make the playoffs. I know one of those years D-Wade was hurt.
He understood, like, I'm not even getting to the second round of the playoffs by myself. LeBron gets there, and all of a sudden they're a circus and they're winning championships. So I think that Wade's made a lot of sacrifices, and he understands LeBron did too, because LeBron was the one taking the heat. When he went to Miami, LeBron was the one getting criticized, getting killed. Wade wasn't.
No.
And I think Wade recognized that.
So it sounds like you deserved a ring in 2012, right? Seriously.
If the Heat is listening, I'll take that.
Well, you contributed. You gonna let me go? So, this is just me. Brian Windhorst wrote about this. He was up yesterday on ESPN.com. We both know Brian. Great respect for him. He's covered LeBron since whenever.
Since the womb. Brian Windhorst's big fat ass was waiting right by Gloria James's vagina as LeBron emerged. He's like, LeBron, do you have any comments? How was it in there?
Whenever. Since he was 10 years old. And Brian is plugged in. He wrote an insightful, powerful, pretty gutsy piece yesterday about what could have happened to this friendship. And his point was that the Wade-James relationship easily could have been badly damaged in 2014. I thought it was going to be because...
Yes, you were hoping that it was going to be. And I understand where you were coming from, Skip Bayless, because LeBron is just a sneaky character. That's why I call him a serpent, man. And when I say serpent, I'm not talking about just from that level of cunning and wisdom and intelligence. I'm also talking about how he moves. And I believe that Dwayne Wade understands how LeBron moves, and he's just tolerant of it. Sometimes there are people in your life that move in a certain way, but you love them, so you tolerate it. And you allow them to think that they're getting away with something that they're not getting away with.
Because I thought it was a low blow that LeBron gave to his big brother, Dwayne. And Brian points out that Dwayne was not even the first to be told about the sort of 11th hour decision to go home. I'm coming home, right? And he was told, I think, on a flight back. Or didn't they take a private
from
flight
Vegas
back? Yeah.
Yeah, Skip. They was on a plane in Vegas. And I told Brian, make sure that you tell Sports Illustrated first where you're going. And then you tell D-Wade on the airplane. Because you never know what he going to do if you tell him on the ground. You never know what a nigga going to do when you tell him something on the ground that he don't want to hear. So, be up in the airplane. Let the nigga know, look, we up in the air 1,000 feet. Don't get too upset by what I'm about to tell you. But I'm heading home. That's how I told him to tell D-Wade, Skip.
Is that when he told? Did he tell him on that flight?
He told him on the flight back.
Because I'm wondering who he's saying were the first. Because obviously he told Sports Illustrated.
He did.
No, the first person he told was me, Shannon Sharp James. And then I let him know who to tell after that.
He did tell Sports Illustrated. He said there are other close friends that he told
Probably
before.
Rich Paul and
Well, they
Magic.
knew.
You would think that
Yeah.
for sure, but I think it went beyond that.
Maybe Chris Paul.
Maybe.
'Cause Chris-
Yeah, you know what? That's possible.
You think?
Chris Paul didn't say Chris is his best friend.
And-
See,
Yeah, we told Chris down the line because, Chris Paul's involved with that insurance. So, we want to make sure we got our backsides covered. So we told Chris and we told D-Wade.
And,
See, I would think if he told Chris, though, he would tell Dwayne.
okay, I would obviously.
Yeah.
Dwayne had already made a sacrifice to get LeBron there the first time and took less money, and then he had opted out so that they could both opt back in together and finish together in Miami, and it cost him, as you say, an estimated $10 million. And then to cap this off...
Yeah, but I'm sure that LeBron James is going to assist him with some business connections down the line where he's going to make that $10 million back. DWade knows where his bread is buttered. He knows that LeBron is the golden calf. As long as he stays in line with LeBron, he's going to make sure that he optimizes his earning potential down the line because he knows who many of LeBron James' sponsors and backers are. So DWade is also utilizing, a lot of scruples and some chicanery to some degree himself.
Dwayne could have gone to Golden State ahead of last season and maybe tried to take a ride for one last hurrah ring, and instead he joined LeBron in Cleveland. And yet at the trade deadline, when you were throwing a parade for all the moves they made, because they were really good moves, one quiet move was exit stage left. They just said, Dwayne, we're going to ship you back to Miami. Nice to send him back to Miami, but according to Brian Windhorst, LeBron did not stand in the way.
Of course he didn't, because LeBron's going to do what's best for him. At the end of the day, LeBron's attitude is Dwayne Wade is a grown man. He's a vet. If he's going to get moved, I don't have to tell him. But if I remember correctly, there was a story where DWade encountered LeBron after he got the news that he was getting traded, and he asked LeBron if he knew about it. And I think that LeBron told him no. And we all know that that's a lie.
Of them shipping out Dwayne, his best friend and big brother. So for me, I try to put myself somehow in Dwayne's shoes. Man, I just have a hard time with this because LeBron made a pretty cold-blooded business decision in 2014 because it looked like Dwayne's knees off that finals against the Spurs when they got blown out by a record finals margin.
That was the worst that I ever saw Dwayne Wade look. He honestly did not look healthy. He looked like something was wrong with him, like maybe he had an adverse reaction to some type of medication, or he was on some type of illegal drug, to be quite frank with you. The man looked like he was coked out. His face was all puffy. His eyes were red. He had no muscle tone, no definition in his arms. I was like, what's going on with this guy?
And it looked like his knees were maybe not shot, but on his last legs, right? And did that factor into LeBron? Sure it did. He's saying, I just don't know how much farther I can go with him as my second star.
It was reported that there are some nights LeBron would get to the arena and he would be told that DWade is not going. And so obviously...
That's when I texted Bron, because Bron was upset and he texted me. I said, you know what, it's time to get the hell up out of Dodge. Because that grasshopper-faced Negro, DWade, I have no idea what's going on from game to game with his ass. And, we trying to catch Jordan.
Obviously, how much further can this thing go, or how much can Dwayne help me get my ultimate goal? Being friends with someone that's on equal footing is not as easy as you think.
Yeah, Skip, it's very rough. I know that for myself by experience. When I was in Denver, when I played with John, I had to tell John, I said, John, we're no longer equals. I'm going to give you control of the team. I told him that right before practice. I walked up behind him in the locker room. I said, John L. Wade, I know that you look at me with awe and magnificence. You look at me as a Greek god, I understand that. But I'm going to give over control of the team to you for the betterment of the team. And I tapped him on his shoulder, and he rose up, he took off his headphones, he said, what? And I said, nothing. I walked out to the practice field. We won the Super Bowl that year, Skip.
It's easy, I have friends that I grew up with, and obviously I went on to do what I did, but we're still friends. Now...
Yeah, Skip. I need somebody to come dust my floors.
Imagine, as you said, DWade actually saw himself as an equal to LeBron.
Can you believe that shit, Skip?
Well, if I'm equal, why do I got to concede? Why you can't concede? Mm-hmm. Why does your goals, your agenda, I want to be a big movie star, I want to be an icon too. But I think DWade understood that, yes, I want to be. But Nike ain't give me no $91 million contract out the gate.
Yeah. But that's why I sympathize with DWade, Skip, because, like I said, I went through the same thing in Denver with John L. Wade. I would roll around in my big plush California king-size bed at night, with my 2 or 3 women's in the bed, and I said to myself, why do I got to share this team with this man? And then I said, you know what, Shannon, if you want to go down with the greats, you have to make this dude believe that he's the captain of the team.
And you know, Skip, I think LeBron, the businessman, and LeBron, the professional athlete, the basketball player, they're two different people. Because he's like, okay, yeah, we can play basketball together, and I'm trying to win. But business is something entirely different what I'm actually trying to do over here. So I'm going to, like last...
Absolutely, Skip. Every time Bron come home, I play that Jay-Z song with Jermaine Dupri. Money ain't a thing, okay? And I tell him, if we truly want money to not be a thing, we have to remember that these niggas are replaceable, okay? Don't catch no feelings.
Last night, okay, yeah, we're best friends. But when you get on that court, I'm trying to beat you.
Well, sure. No, I got that. But in the end, to me, DWade is also a businessman.
Yes.
DWade is a shrewd operator.
Yes.
And I think he swallowed all of his pride through 2014 and then what happened at the trade deadline last year, because he knew it was coming to an end and he wanted to keep the business lines open with his best connection, LeBron James.
Absolutely. Completely agree, sir. DWade is smart like a fox. Once again, sometimes you let things go for the sake of convenience. In the same way, a chick who is with a rich man is going to tolerate more than she'll tolerate from a regular dude.
Because DWade knew that he and Gabrielle would want to live in LA,
Yep.
and they would want to be close friends and connected to the ultimate connection, LeBron James in Los Angeles, right?
Absolutely. That's a great assertion by Skip Bayless, because there's no doubt that the relationship between Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union is a business relationship. I'm not saying that they don't love one another, but that is a Hollyweird relationship if I've ever seen one. They're both pansexuals, allegedly.
Right? He is a power
So
broker.
you think Wade is looking down the line?
Yeah.
I want to be connected to
Because
this
what's
stuff
Dwayne
around
love?
me.
He loves
Absolutely.
fashion. He wants to have his own fashion line. Nobody can help you in that world better than LeBron
But
James.
But anyway, that's basically it on that. We'll see how things develop in the relationship between Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Shannon Sharp James. So peace.